from Louisville Public Media.
Support comes from the Eye Care Institute and Butchertown Clinical Trials, where they strive for diversity, equity, and inclusion within their staff, patients, and clinical trial participants. To learn more, visit butchertown.clinic.
It's Tuesday, October 5th. I'm Bill Burton. Here's the latest from 89.3 WFPL News. Governor Andy Beshear says information about offerings from Kentucky's state healthcare exchange, Connect, will be available online October 15th. That will give Kentuckians time to compare state-managed health insurance plans 2 weeks ahead of open enrollment, which starts on November 1st. Connect helped the state achieve the nation's biggest drop in the uninsured rate from 2013 to 2014, and Beshear said it's hard to overstate the role the network played in improving Kentucky's health outcomes.
Both Connect and the expansion of Medicaid saved thousands of lives in Kentucky. And I think in the end, when we look back on this pandemic, how access was built and expanded or not expanded in different states will be part of the reason why we see loss in some places and not as much in others.
Kentuckians will be able to enroll in health care plans on Connect through mid-January. Kentucky has more than 42,000 public school teachers, but only 5% are educators of color. WFPL's Yasmin Jama reports the state will fund some universities' efforts to boost representation.
Representation can make a difference in student outcomes. Black students who have at least one black teacher by third grade are 13% more likely to enroll in college, according to a 2018 Johns Hopkins University study. And that likelihood goes up if they have more black teachers. Kentucky's Council on Post-Secondary Education will give the University of Louisville, Western, and Northern Kentucky universities $400,000 over the next couple of years for programs that aim to attract diverse educators. They'll try to help students of color earn teaching certifications and navigate workforce barriers. I'm Yasmin Jama in Louisville.
Kentucky's lawmakers are studying whether to increase the tax rate on historical horse racing. That's the slot machine-like form of gambling that bases results on already run races. Capitol reporter Ryland Barton has more.
Kentucky taxes historical horse racing at a fraction of the rate of surrounding states. Legislators have been mulling whether to do something about that, but U of L business professor Thomas Lambert says an increase could lead to a decline in gamblers.
Because the establishments have to decrease the payout to patrons, and the patrons end up going somewhere else, across the river to Cincinnati or Indiana or what have you.
Still, some budget writers think increasing the tax could help some of the state's financial problems. They'll consider that during the next legislative session in January. I'm Ryland Barton in Louisville.
The pandemic and economic downturn have only worsened Kentucky's long-standing worker shortage. The state's workforce participation rate has been on a steady decline since the year 2000. Charles All is a senior policy analyst for the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce. He says fewer adults in the Commonwealth participate in the workforce than in almost any other state in the nation.
We trail almost every single state that surrounds us, with the exception of West Virginia. Kentucky actually has the third lowest workforce participation rate in the nation, just in front of West Virginia and Mississippi.
The State Chamber of Commerce estimates 90,000 workers are needed to join or return to the workforce to get back to pre-pandemic levels. And even then, Kentucky will likely still be behind the nation and surrounding states. The Chamber says while there's no easy fix to the worker shortage, there are some solutions for improvement, such as better access to affordable health care and removing barriers to education and licensing for those with criminal records. A strike at one of the world's largest bourbon producers is entering its fourth week. Rhonda Miller reports on the stalemate over a proposed contract at Heaven Hill Distillery in Bardstown.
United Food and Commercial Workers Local 23D rejected the proposed 5-year contract offered by Heaven Hill Distillery, based in large part on concerns about possible expanded weekend shifts. The walkout involves about 420 members of the union. The Bardstown Distillery signaled that it wanted to assign new hires to non-traditional schedules that would include weekend work, but the union is concerned about how those shifts would be covered if new employees are not available. WHAS-TV reports Heaven Hill recently recently sent a letter to union members that said there are possible misconceptions about the proposed contract and that current members would not be required to change to non-traditional schedules. Family-owned and operated Heaven Hill produces Evan Williams, one of the world's top-selling bourbons. I'm Rhonda Miller in Bowling Green.
For more on these stories, visit WFPL.org. I'm Bill Burton. Thanks for listening.
Support comes from the 8th Annual Tailspin Ale Fest, a Louisville local beer festival with its spooky edition October 30th with more than 250 beers, 90 local and national American craft breweries on tap, and the Kentucky Heritage section featuring beers brewed in the Bluegrass State. Tickets for the October 30th Ale Fest at tailspinalefest.com.
The Louisville Public Media Podcast Incubator is designed to make podcasting accessible to people in our community who have great ideas but aren't sure how to make them happen. In other words, you. Find out more at louisvillepublicmedia.org/podcasts. That's louisvillepublicmedia.org/podcasts. With support from the Community Foundation of Louisville, the Eye Care Institute's Butchertown Clinical Trials, Rankings.io, and Podchaser.